connected to terrible terrorist groups of the world. They are connected to the al-Qaida of the Maghreb, North Africa. They are connected to the al-Qaida group with Obama Laden as their leader who has been killed. They are connected to al-Shabaab, terrorist groups from Somalia. They are connected to ISIS and the Taliban. These are wicked, vicious terrorist groups across the globe. The same people who struck in France last week and killed 17 people. Ours is not only to do. The hours are in thousands. The last village that was attacked last week, over 2,000 people, women, children, and elderly people were killed. And not only killed, the whole village was burnt down completely, were razed down by fire. How about the church? Has this destruction, persecution, killing, abduction affected the Church of the Brethren in Nigeria? Certainly it has. Has it been affected because of our peaceful stance? No. It's because we happen to be in the same area with the Boko Haram people. Not because we are a pacifist or a peace-loving church. No. It's because they do not like anybody who does not support their ideology of jihad, their ideology of violence, their ideology of destruction, their ideology of coercion into following their own religion. And that's why they say anything Western is forbidden, anything Western education is sinful, and therefore whoever goes to school must be caught and killed and murdered. I am glad you have freedom here. We don't have that freedom yet. And even though our Constitution gives us whatever freedom any human being is given, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, freedom of movement, freedom. Freedom is something good. And that's why everywhere across the globe, people are looking for freedom. Democracy is supposed to bring us freedom, but it's not the freedom that will impinge on the right of your fellow brother, of your fellow sister, of your neighbor. And that's why the Church of the Brethren, no matter what destruction we have been passing through, we have taken literally the meaning of the gospel of Christ from the book of Romans 12. Love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. If they are hungry, give them food. If they are thirsty, give them water. If they have no place to lay their heads or to sleep, give them somewhere so that they can relax and have rest. Church of the Brethren in Nigeria has gone through terrible times. And let me tell you, because of this, the church has been displaced more than any denomination in Nigeria. Right now, the Church of the Brethren has about what we call districts. We have about 50 districts, executive districts, just like the Church of the Brethren. We have 43 of those districts completely destroyed and displaced by Boko Haram terrorists. We have about sure that these people receive their spiritual diet every day. In those 4 camps in the Cameroon, we have probably ever lost 225 adults, 30 children as a result of trauma and diseases. Thank God again, we have about 207 children born, 66 people baptized, and 60 children dedicated to the Lord. Do we have other camps? Refugee camps? Yes, we do have them. We have them in Yola. These are cities in the northern part of Nigeria. Over 100,000 of our members are in these refugee camps. In Taraba, over 12,000 members. In Gombe, over 10,000 members. In Kaduna, over 5,000 members. In Bauchi, over 5,000 members. On the plateau, over 5,000 members. In Abuja, over 3,000 members. Maiduguri, over 2,000 members. Nasarawa, over 500. Niger, over 500. Kano, over 600. Lagos, over 300. River State, over 275 people. These are people that have been laid off, disturbed, completely their homes, property destroyed, children killed, mothers killed, others abducted and put into slavery in the 21st century. What do? We continue with the message of peace. We continue with the message of forgiveness. What does the church in particular do? EYN as a peace church. We organize seminars and workshops. For groups we call interfaith groups. Christians and Muslims come together and traditional religions. What we call as traditional religions are what they refer to as pagans or enemies before, but we call them traditional religions. We have interfaith groups and we organize seminars and workshops between Christian-Muslim relations. Formal Christians and Muslims peace initiative known as CAPI, based in Mubi. These are all introduced and established by the Church of the Brethren in Nigeria. What do we do there? We share and communicate wisely God's love for all mankind. And what do you teach for all Muslims, Christians, religious faith groups? Reject the use of all forms of violence, threats, discrimination, intimidation, coercion, corruption, vilification, misrepresentation, deceit, and hypocrisy. What we do not want to do or have amongst all these people is what hypocrisy. A hypocrite person is a person who pretends what he isn't, acting what he isn't, trying to demonstrate what he isn't, claiming what he isn't. Hypocrite. We do not want this. And so we teach our people. We powerful, is strong, is loving, is forgiving, is compassionate, is merciful. And that's why, and that's the message we proclaim as Church of Christ in Nigeria, Ecclesia and Nigeria, EYN in Nigeria. You know, no matter what the destructions are, no matter how much killing or kidnapping of our children, our girls, we still depend on the living Christ. Because we know someday He is going to set us free. He is going to set us free and bring us joy and peace and love and tolerance of everybody. I can remember and I can envisage on that day, Nigerian church that has been devastated, destroyed, their children, daughters, kidnapped, abused, and put into slavery. We believe, we trust, we know that someday God is going to bring our girls back, and there will be reunion. There will be blossoming of the church. I could imagine in Exodus 14 and 15, those were the days when Moses, you remember, when Moses and the Israelites from Egypt, they were being ushered out of Egypt. They were being led by Moses like any other ordinary person. They were arguing. They were grumbling. They were murmuring. They were hating, difficult. And when they arrived to the Red Sea, and they began to grumble, Moses spoke to the people of Israel and said, these people who are chasing you with their chariots, Pharaoh, are not going to see you anymore. And as he stretched forth his stick, the sea, Red Sea, split into two. They went around, right through it. But when the Egyptians came, they were drawn. And I could imagine. And here, the Israelis, their children, their men, their women, their girls, shouting and praising God on the other side. When God said them in a Hebrew language, saying, Velo Yishan Shome Israel. Shome, oh Israel. Dancing around because the living God saved me. Thank you for listening. God bless you.
Our hearts have been moved this morning. My heart has been moved this morning. We weep and mourn with you and with the people of Nigeria and the immense suffering that you have experienced and continue to experience. We also rejoice with you in the incredible faith that God has given you and in the peace-like and the Christ-like